You might have wondered, what do I find if I just zoom into space without stopping? But never found an answer. There is nobody to yet know. The background energy of space seems just to manifest our lives out of the blue, on what science calls probabilistic terms. Questions beyond are just stamped metaphysics. And no discipline seems to care much about it. That what they're dealing with is subordinated something that can override everything. And that can translate materializations over the head of any kind of expertise. Our biology and how things are unfolding has simply no frame, but a source of materialization, completely unknown to science. What is behind this facade? Where are you, in your brain? Where is consciousness? How can imagination bring you everywhere, yet your brain is an objective limitation by itself? Why should a background be pure energy without being more conscious than systems within? It can all be summed in one simple question. Are our destinies ruled by the successors of now, or is the divisibility of now into an unknown number of smaller pieces pointing to a deeper seamlessness who knows where it's heading for? Well, let us dive into it. According to our current science, we are made of particles. We have different fundamental forces, fundamental charges, fundamental charge types, fundamental masses, fundamental laws, fundamental constants, fundamental groups of fundamental particles in their respective fundamental fields, a fundamental number of oppositions for each fundamental charge type. Somebody seems just to like very well to call things fundamental. But are they, really? Is the world made of fundamental numbers and constants, which cannot be explained? What if it's all a misinterpretation? What if it all hangs together, and can all be unified to one single particle? Is this one particle a particle? The answer might be no. It's part of the background energy itself, with no other roots than a very unknown source of materialization. Maybe we should rather call them translation remnants. You cannot interpret anything three-dimensionally without being tail-chasing, and that's what science is. Whatever you look into is the past, which is not there, because everything happens four-dimensionally at the same time. A translation of time is just manifested through some remnants which we call particles. A perception of materialization is just a result of a translation of something we interpret as pure background energy without remembering the important question: what is energy? Something that arrives out of fundamental numbers and constants. What if the atomic nucleus are not particles, but some instruction units which tells the wave function how to materialize? What if there are four-dimensional connections behind this facade? What if the background energy holistically controls everything, and is part of a bigger four-dimensional picture? The things we still have yet to discover in the very deep background might show us that the background is not probabilistically containing things in it, but is rather the remnants of creation. Probabilism might be just an interpretation, as the best we yet have, while in reality it's just how the manifestations express themselves from our side of the facade, which we are not yet able to see through. There is only a way all things manifest. That's all physics is about. Everything is energy, probabilistically manifesting the things we experienced materialized. Although there is no frame, but a source of materialization, completely unknown to science. Behind this facade, there might be room for everything. The paranormal might be normal. Anomalies might be just the top of an iceberg of something that is not anomalies. Placebo and nocebo might be not something but everything. The unsolved mysteries might be not mysteries but a sign that science is on a wrong track. The seamlessness of how things actually unfold is hiding somewhere in the deep, and it might know exactly where it is heading for. But what is steering it? Or who is steering it? That's where things get really interesting. You cannot distinguish objectifications from the very fundamental subjectivity of consciousness. A field of information with unknown depth is in everything and an inherent part of the background energy. Is the background self-aware? Is the brain self-aware? Well, actually, the brain is background energy, so how might awareness be distinguished from it? Or maybe it's not. Are you made of brain tissue, or are you made of the energy which makes it up? And if so, might the brain tissue just be a manifestation of how things are constantly rematerializing from its source? Is the brain manifesting thoughts, or thoughts manifesting the brain? Well, the roots of our thoughts and where they come from might be so deeply hidden that science still has a long way to go before realization that all of biology and unfolding of life might be completely misunderstood. There is no materialistic framework for any life form. There are no materialistic genes. There are no materialistic cells. There are no materialistic neurons. There are no materialistic organs. There is just pure background energy, with a very unknown metaphysical backyard, that make things appear materialized, and that control things not only holistically but also four-dimensionally. With no caring about that somebody calls the remnants it leaves behind for fundamental laws, particles and constants. Those are just part of translation of a much bigger picture, where the trajectory ripples out of the future as much as past and present. Where retrocausality might be just as strong or even stronger than causality. But we will not see it before we stop using foggy words, like matter and energy. Because those are the questions. What is it?